Hey boys and girls, it's Nightstalker here. Welcome along to a battle review. We're loading in on Valley Fortress, and the person's game we're reviewing today is Kenny Powers. Kenny is one of the members of the Discord channel for Nightstalker. That's me. And if you'd like to join in our Discord channel, I am going to put the details down below in the information for the video. So please come along and join us, especially if you've got any questions that you can't find an answer to, or you'd like some advice on where to put your skill points, what gear to go for, what units to take, anything at all. Both veteran and new players are welcome. Now, one thing I will say while I'm reviewing this battle, if there are any nasty comments in the comment section down below, you will be stomped on. Don't be unkind. So here we go, loading in. Kenny's got quite a little way along the tech tree there. You can see he's got the Spear Sergeants, which are a fantastic unit, especially if you're just starting out. They're very tanky and they do quite a little bit of damage. They're also a little bit more of the game meta than, say, the Shields, which don't do a lot of damage, but at the same time, the Spear Sergeants can stand in for a shield unit. Of course, we've got the new Landsharks. I'm not even going to even try to name what those are. Someone's already criticised my pronunciation of that word, so we're going to go with Landsharks, which are the upgraded helmets for this season. Now, Kenny's done what a lot of us do by mistake a lot of the time and taken the wrong unit out at the start. If you're defending, it's pretty unwise to take a peasant unit, as Kenny obviously knows, because you need to defend those walls. They're the one of the best places to hold people up for a long period of time. So you're better to take out a harder unit, even if it's a low tier unit at the start of the game, as long as it can beat peasants, which other people will push the siege in. Now, I would have stuck with the what do you call them, Ironcap swords. I would have stuck with them because along a tower wall or down a siege tower, things like that, in narrow spaces, their charge is absolutely deadly, and it will kill a hero. So if you see a unit of Ironcap Swordsmen coming along and you're by yourself and you're in a narrow space, you're probably in a lot of danger. But that's fine. Out come the Landsharks. They're a great unit and very appropriate to take at this point of the game too. A nice strong blue unit to defend against peasants and other low tiers. You see these archers on the left here, they're absolutely crazy. If I saw that up on the wall, I would be placing a trebuchet right there for the 20 or 30 free kills. If you're going to use archers on the wall like that, no problem. Just pop them out, have a few shots and pop them back to the other side. Shoot one side, then shoot the other side of that main gate. Of course, it may be worth the risk to you for a low tier archer unit. A low leadership archer unit. They look like they may be vanguards, and so they don't cost a lot. Kenny here is using the map, as you can see. He's requested help at the supply, which has been taken over. You can see it on the mini-map bottom right. And you'll see repeatedly through this game that Kenny is closely monitoring his mini-map. He's very good at that. And that's a skill that you really have to master if you're going to become good at this game, or really any game that is similar to this. The mini-map is really the place of power. And if you master that, you're more than halfway towards being an excellent player. Anyway, that's taken care of. There is another, if you look at the mini-map, there is another enemy player still within the walls, but it looks like the people who took the supply point back are going back to deal with them. So Kenny's going to go back to his position on the walls, which is absolutely the right thing to do. Now, as you can see, well, as Kenny can see, that siege tower is just about in, and he wants to make sure that he's available to both A and B points to defend. The thing you've got to do with something like Landsharks is just make sure they don't get killed up on the walls. They're a tough unit. They're with good leadership. You don't want them getting trebucheted. So while he was out exploring and looking, he left them back out of sight, which is exactly the right thing to do. Now he's coming up here. He sees 4 heroes, including a maul, which will absolutely devastate his unit. And Landsharks can punch through these. They're quite clearly Ironcap shields, but they're not exceptionally good at it. So Kenny's thinking, how can I make this work? How about a false retreat? So what those enemy players on the siege towers are now seeing is they're seeing Kenny running away with his unit because they're taking some very mild arrow fire. And they're thinking, great, he's out of here, time to push in. Which is going to be a critical mistake for them, because Kenny is not running away. Kenny is just making them believe he is running away. Now look at this Nadashi. How clueless is he? looking the wrong way, not aware of anything. So anyway, that dual blades is going to grab hold of the poleaxe, and Kenny is going to charge in. Now with this, I would have sent the Landsharks on their charge before I went in with my ult, because the shields would still be relying on the ground when the Landsharks hit. But for a peasant unit, they're still going to tear them apart anyway. 2 hero kills and a whole unit destroyed. Straight into the rear of this unit. Now I would have called the unit to me and bunched them up against these shields and hit the 3 ability so that they'll hack them all to bits, but it's not super necessary, they are going to win anyway. Oop, bit of lag there. Secured the kill anyway. Now you'll probably notice that Kenny has not even lost one single soldier from his Landshark unit, so it's absolutely the right thing to do to send them back. Otherwise, the next time he engages over here on A, he will immediately lose half the unit who are on red level health. But being a longsword, he can mess with this point for quite a while without really having any risk of dying, as long as he's careful of the ult of the glaives. He's doing the right thing. He's trying to flank around the paladins because they're just impossibly strong from the front, and he's through to the squishy damaged heroes. Now he's done his minus 50% movement, and he went to go in there probably to use his E skill. I've done that before myself, and I'm sure we all have gone to use the skill and found it's on cooldown, and that just gave the enemy players just that fraction of a moment to recover from being stunned and kick his head in, basically. Free murder for them. Unfortunately, Kenny, that happens to all of us, mate. Don't you worry about it. Ooh. Alright. So, at this point, I would have hailed the B point down to send the Landsharks back to, back to inventory. But he doesn't want to bring them out straight away at this point anyway, because the Spear Sergeants are absolutely the right selection here. B is being pushed, and there are not many of his team there to stop it. So he's going to have to survive quite some time, I imagine, before the friendly team shows up. So he has a quick peek around the corner, sees he's impossibly outnumbered. So what decisions does he make here? He lets his team know, which is great, and the first of his units start arriving. So he's going to put them into a shield formation to allow them to block up, because they are vastly better than the Ironcap Swords and the Domain Spearmen here. And then he puts them in the cover commander mode, so they all bunch up with him. And watch what he does with this cover commander ability. Once his friendly team starts coming in, he moves around the scrimmage, around the battle, so that his guys pick on the looser formation guys around the edge. And if you, with the Spear Sergeants, continually move around a battle like this, you'll find you have more success with them. So that was exceptionally good play there from Kenny. Well done, mate. Unfortunately, this is where it all goes a bit pear-shaped. Kenny thinks about sending his guys back, but realises he doesn't have a supply point captured to send them back to. So unfortunately here, Kenny takes him off cover commander, and he does his heal without his unit being within his heal radius. And what happens now is these Spear Sergeants just one at a time walk into the men-at-arms and get butchered. Of course, you've got 3 heroes here, absolutely wailing on him, 2 of them short bows, which can keep him stunned for extended periods. Falls off the wall, ends up dead. What you could have done better there, Kenny, is as soon as you saw that your guys were outnumbered and getting wrecked, hit them back into the 2, the cover commander, and bring them back down the stairs and off to the point. You would have saved maybe half the unit. Fortunately, the team are well aware of what's going on, so they're going to go and plug the gap. We're just going to skip ahead now till Kenny's back alive. Here we go. So back in with the Landsharks, which I think is the right choice as well. There is, of course, 2 minutes left in the battle. Unfortunately, at this point the enemy is going to capture the A point. Kenny's using his map and his strategic view, which you'll see in a second, to decide where he's going to commit his troops. If you want to get to this screen, hit the Z key. Z for Zulu. So, the A point is not savable at this point, but can you get some kills? Kenny knocks out the maul so he doesn't get the kills on the prefecture guard that his team are bringing in. And he lines up a charge. Now watch how he lines up the charge. Waits till his unit is bunched up. Everybody's present. Has a quick check to see what's up there, which is very smart before committing your troops. and he moves them up the staircase. Now, before all of his troops get to the point that he's told them to go to, he's going to ask them to brace so that no time is wasted, and then completely throw them in. This is a great charge because there's a high chance of getting a hero kill here. As it stands, he got 8 or 10 kills and only lost 3 of his Landsharks. And off they go back for a heal. They don't actually need a heal at this point, especially because Kenny is playing Longsword. You don't want to spend too much of your time running backwards and forwards from supply points. In this instance, I probably would have kept them out and just healed them with my Longsword. And I wouldn't have made this push, but Kenny's decided to do it because he can see quite clearly on the map that his team are engaged up here, and he realises quickly that they're outnumbered. So he does a very smart thing. He brings his Landsharks up and puts them into the brace. And what he's trying to do here is he's trying to lure the enemy into the Landsharks' charge arc, so bait them in. He sees a hero straight away, and that's going to be the undoing of this Longsword, who's made a very, very tragic mistake, because getting charged by Landsharks is a fairly fatal thing to happen. Now, see those archers up there? I would have pushed the halberdiers into them and killed them. They've only got half a unit left, and exchanging half a unit of Landsharks for a full unit of archers would have made sense to me. But fortunately, the Nodachi's got it covered. Nodachis are great for killing archers. And Kenny thinks about chasing down the kill here, but wisely chooses not to. He's unsupported, there were another hero behind him, and he had no unit with him, so it would have made no sense whatsoever there to chase down. Now here's the mistake that you make, Kenny. Kenny tells his unit to go back to the supply point, but the route back to the supply point, there's a battle going on between 2 heroes and a whole bunch of units. So the poor old Landsharks just wander into the battle without trying to fight at all, and of course they get fairly massacred. Just an unfortunate consequence there. We've all made mistakes like that with the pathing of units before. The correct thing to do as soon as he realised would have been to hit the V key, or to hit the 3 key to put them into the special unit order. Never mind, mistakes were made, we're moving on. And another successful defense of a push. So here Kenny has 2 viable options. He either has the Pike Militia or he has the Ironcap Swordsmen. He opts for the Ironcap Swordsmen. I probably would have opted for the Pike Militia, but I think I'm probably coloured by I know what's already coming. Right? I already know what's happening. He doesn't have that foresight. So he can see clearly that B is being held quite nicely with some Imperial Pikemen there and a couple of heroes. They're unlikely to be able to push that when most of their team is up attacking the C point. He looks for a charge on the shield unit, doesn't get it. At this point I probably would have jumped off my horse and started hacking at these units for free while they moved into position. But that's not to be, and it's not a big deal either way. You retain the mobility on your horse. Now here's another little mistake I probably wouldn't have made. I would have placed the Ironcaps back from the stairs and charged up so they get maximum impact damage on the charge. But it is going to hold up these other units, but it is going to get them killed. And an attempted charge at point blank range like that does virtually no damage, so it's not really something I can recommend. And of course the Landsharks do destroy the Ironcap swords, as you might expect. So, 36 seconds left, the B point is comfortably secure, so everybody is needed on the C point. So it's got to be really careful not to get caught up in that Spear Sergeant unit. If you get enveloped in a Spear Sergeant unit, you're going to get stabbed full of holes, leak like a sieve pretty quick. So here he is, Stalwarts move in, which pretty much secures a victory with 15 seconds left, popping up some heals, and here comes the This is Sparta moment. It's a real shame that last sword stroke killed that hero, because had the last sword stroke not killed him, the kick would have, and he would have gone, this is Sparta, and kicked him straight off the wall and killed him, and his body would have hit the ground below. Anyway, great result, especially for a longsword. You don't get a lot of hero kills as a longsword, so 6 is great. Well done to the Landsharks, 3 for 37. Spear Sergeants did great as well. And Kenny got himself an S tier and 2nd place. 112 participation, which is great. He participated in the battle, where you look at people who have got like the 12. You know, if you've got 12 participation, regardless of how many kills and things you've got, you're not playing the game correctly. The point of the game is to capture the points. So you can see that Brock, Kenny, Nakog, and Waylas have been doing excellent for the team, and a lot of other people have contributed as well. 9 assists, it's lovely. 94 unit kills, Only 2 deaths, which is quite good for a support hero who generally get picked on quite a bit. And of course, these 6 murders was fantastic. So all round great game, Kenny. Really well deserved victory. Now, don't forget, boys and girls, if you'd like to send in your own replays, I've got the details in the description, the video description down below. It's knightstalkerreplays@gmail.com. And if I see some really great games, I'd love to narrate them for you. So, yeah, it's good. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new or you just enjoyed the battle. Thanks for coming to the channel.
Hey guys, Knight here. Thanks for watching my videos. I make these in my spare time for a bit of fun, so hopefully you learned something or you just enjoyed watching. It would really help me out if you would subscribe and like my videos. See you on the battlefield.